Katie here. I have a nice clean studio for a change. Well, this half of the studio is put back together finally. All that white sewer pipe up above had to be replaced. Everything was shoved into the other end like this. It was horrible. And how I have some new containers to put things in. Cat trees down here instead of clogging the upstairs studios. And I have some storage and labeled with hang down tags. And I'm going to work on that sculpture today. But here's my boxes. New bins with labels, all organized and up off of the floor so it doesn't mold underneath. Some of that needs some more organization, but I'm not sure quite how to do it because nothing matches anything else. So it's not like I could put them all in boxes. There's paint up above, and I'm going to work on this sculpture. It's upside down. It is the figure that holds up the boat for Raggedy Ann and Andy in the Sea of Dreams. And I'm going to attach these tights to this boat with T-pins and super glue after I paint the boat. I was talking, but it's nothing super critical. I have to get that painted so it won't show through underneath the tool that's going to be put on. And I decided it'd be quicker to speed everything up and voice over instead. So I'm just poking at this styrofoam with a brush with acrylic paint on it. I use Soho acrylic paint for this. It covers really, really well. The darker the bottom, the better. And I blended into the sides a little bit, so it still works. It doesn't have to be brown. It doesn't have to be brown. It just needs to be darkened down. So here, it's almost all painted. And I've ruined more brushes stabbing at acrylic or styrofoam texture, trying to get little holes filled with paint. Not filled up to the surface, but blackened down or colored in some way. So I did all those other sculptures same way. Went through a lot of brushes because one brush will last through one or two large sculptures before it's completely destroyed. Although you can get a little more life out of them if you dip them in like a disposable cup with boiling water in it. And sometimes you can shape them a little better. They're just cheap nylon brushes. Foam won't work on this stuff because it gets too soft and then you can't get it down into the styrofoam. Here I'm touching up the old paint with a little bit of fresh on the boat. It kind of blends into the black at what's the top right now, which will be the bottom of the boat. It blends in and appears like the boat curves a little more without carving it. It doesn't need to be physically curved at this point that I know of. I could be wrong about that. We'll see when I get to the next step what I'm going to do. I haven't decided. And here I set out a little scrap piece of tin and put some super glue on it, and I'm pushing the T-pins through the super glue and then through the fabric and into the foam. The foam's basically super glue, propane, and styrene. And it expands with the propane, and so you have to let it dry totally thoroughly so that all that propane evaporates out. The super glue is holding down the pin as it goes down into the foam, but it also provides, by putting it on the pin, it secures the fabric so that it won't run. So it's got a little ring of super glue around the pin. And it doesn't have to come down really tight to the body underneath there. Just, fairly decently down. You can't poke into the plastic of the mannequin because it's solid plastic or hard plastic and pins won't go through it. So I work my way all the way around. On some of them, it feels kind of insecure because it's going straight down rather than at an angle. And so I hold it for a few seconds so that super glue hardens. And that's about all I'm doing to this at this point. The paint's still wet, so it needs to sit and dry and not get all over my arms like I did today. That's okay. That's part of what I do. At one point, I bent the metal thinking I was going to get a better contact with the glue. However, I got to thinking if I flicked that, lost the edge, it could flip glue in my face. So I decided not to do that anymore. And that is about all it needs to have happen today. I would like to do more, but I'm waiting on more supplies and drying paint. So that's all for now. Thanks. Bye-bye.